why are people different? And I guess that's the challenge of today. Rick Marks here, and I'm just wanting to delve a little bit today into, like, maybe I've been reading the Mindset book by Carol S. Dweck, and it just catches me because I often think about the fact of how can someone think like that, or how are they seeing it that way. And through trying to understand others gives you insight into yourself, gives you insight into different approaches and unravels. And I challenge the thinking. Like, I'm very much a growth mindset. However, I think sometimes I can flick back across to being fixed. And I don't think you're one or the other. I think we can seasonally go through different elements. There are things where we're like, no, definitely fixed there, and you know. But it's good. Through this book, I've been looking at quite a few of their questions, I suppose, or their thing, and they ask a bunch of questions, and it helps you to reflect and work out whether or not you're a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, and then whether that's in a professional or in a personal element, whether it's personality, whether it's characteristic. And I guess it's easy for us to kind of go, well, they got that because they're smart, but was it that they were smart, or was it that they were applied? They did a study with a bunch of students around a scenario, and I want to share the scenario with you because I actually think it's very interesting. So they said, to give you a better sense, this is called a view from the two mindsets. To give you a better sense of how the two mindsets work, imagine, as vividly as you can, you're a young adult having a really bad day. One day you go to a class that is really important to you and that you like a lot. The professor returns your midterm paper to the class and you got a C+. You're very disappointed. That evening, on the way back to your car, you've gotten a parking ticket. Being really frustrated, you call your best friend to share your experience, but are sort of brushed off by them. What would you think? What would you feel? What would you do? And they looked at the fact that with the people with the fixed mindset, they had highlighted the fact that these feelings are what they'd go through. I would feel like a reject. I'm a total failure. I'm an idiot. I'm a loser. I feel worthless and dumb. Everyone is better than me. I'm slime. In other words, they'd see what happened as a direct measure of their competence and worth. And they said, so then I'd go on and they'd talk a little bit more about that. I'm not going to obviously read you the whole book because otherwise there's no point in you going down the book and experiencing it for yourself. However, they then looked at other elements, and they said, you know, other views would be, my life is pitiful, I have no life, somebody upstairs doesn't like me, the world is out to get me, someone is out to destroy me, no one loves me, everybody hates me, life is unfair and efforts are useless, life stinks, I'm stupid, nothing ever good happens to me, I'm the unlucky person on earth. So it looks at the fact that they're generally or possibly people with low self-esteem or card-carrying pessimists. Or are these people just with low self-esteem? No, they are coping with failure. They aren't coping with failure. And I think that's the biggest difference between growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. However, the growth mindset looked at how they would think from the same scenario. And they said, I'd need to try harder in this class and be careful where I park the car and wonder if my friend had also had a bad day. The C+ would tell me that I have to work a lot harder in class, but I have the rest of the semester to pull my grade up. There are many more that are like that in that study. However, again, it echoes much that same. So it's looking at it and not necessarily personalizing it and going, well, I'm dumb, that car, you know, I got fined for that car park, but looking at it and just being like, well, it's a bunch of unlucky situations or whatever. And you know, when I read it, I actually kind of went, what's amidst because like, did you park in that bad spot because you weren't thinking straight, you were too busy, you were running late for that midterm, like with that day, you know, what surrounding events, I guess, were happening to help gain a better picture. And that was sort of my mindset and my thinking around when I heard that story, in order to decipher how I would view it. But it's interesting when you read that story or that situation and you think, how would you approach that? How would you feel from that? And like I said, I would be viewing it from like looking at all those other factors and kind of going, it's not a reflection of me. It's just, again, maybe I didn't study hard enough. Maybe I studied harder, but I focused on the wrong things. So, you know, from that, go and talk, like I think one of the people's responses or suggestions was like, go and talk to the teacher or whatever and find out, you know, was it one particular like category or like, you know, thing that I didn't study versus like the whole class? And was this one specific topic, might be the word. As you can tell, I haven't gone to uni, so yeah, I'm not familiar with a lot of that, but yeah, go and find out more of the information. I've talked about it before. Gain all the data and intelligence first, and then build your picture and work out your analysis from there. Because more often than not, with more data, with more intelligence, with more information, we actually, it's not downplaying, but it's actually gaining more understanding towards what was happening, why it happened, and how we can prevent it from happening again. And like I said, you could have studied really hard over here, but the test was on here, and that's, so you only really knew half the information you needed to know. And the teacher could say, yeah, you didn't really know this topic or this information here to prove to me that you understand it. So through gaining more insight into things, we can then launch ourselves to a position where we reduce that. But rather than me feeling ganged up on, or you know, like I guess sometimes it also depends on your own, what else is going on in your world. You could be a growth mindset, but that gets you on a really bad day where you're mentally not in a place, and that's where mental health and stuff is huge. And you know, I've talked about it before, I'm doing the Laps for Life, and that's for Reach Out as the organisation, and it's around young people and mental health, and helping to provide them with tools and support. So mental health is something that you cannot downplay or deny, but growth mindset in itself helps you to launch away from depression and those elements, because you are looking for opportunity, and that's, I guess, that difference. The fixed mindset just accept the facts that are given. A growth mindset goes, no, I need more information. I need to work out how I don't land back there again next time. And that's where, as I've talked about before, a lot of big entrepreneurs and business people will always, if they've had failure, they're not going to deny failure. However, they're going to learn a lesson or more than one lesson from that failure, so they can learn and develop, so that when they do similar things again, they know that that's potential, and to not do the same thing again. And I notice it as a parent, my kids say, I'm sorry, and then they turn around and go and do the same thing, and I'm like, you just, yeah, that's kids. But when you become an adult, once you move through all that, that's just either ignorance, stupidity, or again, you're not actually learning anything. So yeah, with that, like I said, I'll chuck a link in the description. Fantastic book. Like and subscribe. You'll see me tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.